Welcome to the International Souls Podcast. Here, we have valuable conversations with leading experts in their field. I'm your host, Eryck, and each week I sit down with people who dare to dream bigger, act braver, and build lives that inspire. You'll hear real stories, lessons learned, and expert insight from across industries and cultures, each one driven by purpose. This show is about leaving the good for the great, taking a leap of faith. Here we go. Okay, guys, what's up? Today on the International Souls, we welcome someone who is more than just a guest. He is a friend, a brother, a creative force, and a personal inspiration to me. A true Montreal icon, a global performer, and a disciplined entrepreneur, DJ YOC, aka YOC. YOC's story started early. At just 30 years old, he began mastering the art of DJing, and since then, he built a legacy that taken him from a hometown stage to international tours. He's been the official tour DJ for global acts like the freaking Backstreet Boys, Usher, and more. He's played private parties for names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Bruce Willis, Hilary Duff, and rocked the biggest nights of the years, an event like the Oscars and the Grammys. Come on now. But YOC isn't just behind the decks. He's behind the scene in building culture. As an entrepreneur, he's a co-founder of industry events and hold ownership and partnership in some of Montreal's most loved restaurant and nightlife spots, which I've been through, and they're amazing. Like the Hideaway, Escondite, Beru, Gokudo. And beyond the city lights, he ventures into real estate, branding, lifestyle influence, travel with a strong, growing community across social media platform. And then there's YOC the adventurer. Just recently, he DJ'd a private cruise in Antarctica. Like for those who, and for those who don't know, we're gonna deep dive into that. It's actually in the South Pole, an experience that speaks to both his reach and his willingness to push boundaries, not just in music, but in life. I've known YOC for over a decade now.
Yeah.
From coaching sessions to a long conversation, from Montreal to Los Angeles, where I've attended some of his gigs. I've seen his discipline, the integrity, the constant drive to grow, not only as an artist, but as a businessman, but as a human being. He is someone who doesn't settle for good. He's always pursuing for great. And now, a brand new chapter is on the horizon. He's about to become a father. Today, we explore what it means to evolve, to leap into new identities, and how YOC continues to lead the vision, passion, and purpose. This conversation is about risk, legacy, rhythm, and realness. YOC, welcome,
That was
man.
a great intro.
I told you, bro. I've been working on this all week, man. I mean, I have to do YOC right. I know you be behind the Montreal Expo hat, and I know you beyond all of that, and I wanted to do you right, man. I'm sure I've let probably some stuff out, but yeah, thank you for showing up. Thank you for
man.
being
Thank you so
here.
much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you
my
for reaching
pleasure.
out.
For sure, bro. And I feel we've been overdue for a conversation, so
Yeah.
let's just have it here. Let's just start like icebreaker. Let's talk about Antarctica. How was your trip, man? How was that? How did that happen? And how was that about? Like, wow.
So how it happened is very simple. I was actually DJing at my LA restaurant at the Hideaway, and one of my friends came with one of his friends that actually does these trips into Antarctica and all kinds of other destinations. Diplo did it not this year, like last year. And she heard me play, and we started talking, and she saw that I was doing stuff with the Backstreet Boys. She saw that I was in, like, she just started reading up on me, and then she reached out to me, like, I think maybe a couple of weeks to a month later, and asked me, like, look, we're doing this trip to Antarctica. Would you be interested? Like, we'd love to have you. Like, we read your bio, and we'd love for you to come in and join us. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Not understanding what it entailed, because I've never
Yeah.
been to the South Pole. I've never been to that destination, let alone taking boat rides like this. Like I'm not a big boat person, but yeah. So that's how it happened, and that's how we did it. It was almost a year in advance. Um, but honestly, it was the trip itself to get there was very long
Yeah.
from Montreal to get to the South Pole to Ushuaia, and then from there taking the boat ride to Antarctica. You passing through the Drake Passage, which is like if people know about the Drake Passage. It's either you get waves are like 20 feet high, or you get the calm waves. And we were lucky enough to get reasonably calm waves, even though the
Okay.
first day on the boat we all got motion sickness, and
Uh,
it was pretty intense. But that first day, after that first day, it was fine. And but from that point on, it was an amazing trip. Honestly, it was just a great trip. The views are amazing. Antarctica, we barely touched the tip of really what Antarctica is.
mm,
Um, but it was just such an amazing trip, so breathtaking. We were able to go on land with the penguins, the seals. Like we were literally walking next to them. You can't touch them, obviously. You can't do any of that stuff. But you see like little penguins, so small, they're walking next to you and like making these noises, and like you're just like in their environment. It was honestly it was something to see, especially the icebergs. The icebergs were incredible, so nice. It's I would definitely do it again, and I do recommend it. That's for sure. Like I said, the trip is extremely long, depending from where you come from. Just from Montreal to get there, like plane rides, it was like maybe about what
mm,
3 plane rides, and pretty long. But at the end of the day, it's like really worth it.
So what was your schedule like? You would adventure during the day and then DJ at night for the cruise, or
Yeah,
like the
there
private
was there
cruise?
was
Or?
exactly. So there was excursions. We did we did the cold plunge, which
I
was
saw that.
that was something.
That's
Let me tell
legit.
you, that cold was, I've never experienced that kind of cold, but it was the best thing that my body felt after. Like it
Oh
was
yeah.
just my body was just completely rejuvenated after that. It felt so good. We did kayaking on the water, a bunch of expeditions. We would go on different parts of the land, uh, visit. It was just so nice to see. And then that's during the day, and then there's activities also on the boat. Whatever, it depends on what you want to do. But it's mostly the excursions that were very amazing. And then at night, like some of the nights, and like not all the nights, but we would have some parties just for the people there. And since I had done stuff with the Backstreet Boys, and my girlfriend's very good friends also with one of the Backstreet Boys' wife and one of the Backstreet Boys. So we invited one of them to come with his wife, and they came, which is Howie, and they loved it. Also, they had a great experience. Nobody expected it, obviously, because
It was a
nobody knew that
surprise.
it was coming, because we weren't advertising it. It wasn't a Backstreet Boys cruise or whatsoever. It was just him coming in with his wife and enjoying a trip. And people were loving it. They had a great time. He was great with everybody. He's just an overall great person.
Mm.
Him and his wife, and we had a great time. Honestly, we just had a great time.
Wow, man. I mean, I was following the whole adventure, and I was so, first of all, so happy for you that your career and your passion for DJing is bringing you to these incredible, unique places in the world, which not a lot of people can actually say that they went to Antarctica. So I think that's great that you were capable of doing it through your career of DJing. And
I'm very lucky. Let me
I
tell you,
mean, lucky
I'm very lucky.
and I mean, yeah, lucky, but also that's who you are. That's like you're always moving, and it's not a coincidence. I don't think that out of all the DJs, you're the one who they choose to go there. So, um, yeah, I love watching that
But
unfold
it's
while you were
also,
there.
and I keep telling people, like as much as you're a great DJ,
Hmm.
you could be a good DJ here, you could be a good DJ anywhere in the world, but it's everything is about where you are. If I was just staying in Montreal still doing this, I wouldn't have that chance to do this,
Hmm.
right? It's because I was in LA, because I was DJing at my restaurant. It's because my friend came, he brought his friend that lived in LA that did this. these are opportunities that you get when, you sometimes you have to travel and do things outside of the box to be able to get these opportunities. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. As much as you're a great DJ and locally, it doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere, because if you don't get the opportunity to have somebody hear you, you're just going to be stuck.
Man, this this is with the cat confirming in the back.
Yeah.
I love the. I mean, this podcast, you already know this is what it's about, really, to leave the good for the great and to take a leap of faith. And I couldn't agree more on what you just said about you have to leave your comfort behind in order to be capable of having even these conversation with these people. And then next thing happened, and this Antarctica is like it's just a bunch of incredible and bold decision you probably took in the past that led you to this moment. It's not just a coincidence. So that's what I meant when you mean lucky. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of moving that you had to do. And if we go back, Yossi, so you were born in Morocco, you moved to Montreal when you were two,
Well, I didn't move.
and
My parents moved.
well, yeah,
They moved me.
they took that leap of faith, which I also have a mom who is my mom is from Bangkok, immigrant, so first generation, and it's I want to understand like why out of everything you started like how did you become a DJ? I think you started at 13. Why out of all DJing was what you decided to go or and even commit to and launch
I,
yourself?
I I just found it. I didn't even know anything about DJing, because so my sister was married to a DJ that used to do private events,
Okay.
like the weddings, all that stuff. Uh, and one point in my life, when I think I was 12 or 13, she asked me, like, do you want to go work a little bit? Do you want to help him out, just like lift equipment, all that stuff? I'm like, let's look, sure. I have nothing else to do, right? I was just in school, and like this was like a summer job for me.
And how old
So
were you with there? Like was that
13,
13? Okay, 13.
12, about 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12, because I started DJing when I was 13. I
Okay.
started learning how to DJ when I was 13.
Okay.
Let's put that in perspective. I didn't start DJing when I started learning how to DJ when I was 13.
Yeah.
Um, so I started working with him, lifting equipment, and this was back in the day where there was no computer, there was no softwares. It was literally like turntables, records, tape decks, uh, like bringing crates of vinyl to events, buying vinyls for events. Like CDs weren't even a thing yet. So
Oh.
this was like 91, 92. Um, gives you my age. But but yeah, that's how I started, and I guess I caught the bug. I just started staying with him at events and seeing. I know, Rico. I know you want to hear the story. Uh, I guess I started staying with him at events, and I just wanted to see what he was doing. I was just it caught me, basically. Like it lit something in me that I didn't know I even had, um, and I just wanted to learn. So I bought some equipment from him to learn at home, and I just started learning at home by myself. I for a good 2 years, I was learning how to mix by myself, by teaching myself how to listen, how to hear the music. That was like the crucial part, right? But also looking at him, at everything he was doing all the single time. And then one of his DJs that he had under him to do events asked me if I wanted to come one day and just you know be with him for events, to because he wanted me like maybe play for the younger generation, whatever it is, because I was younger and I knew what they wanted. Uh, so I did that, but I think that moment was where I actually understood a lot about DJing, because he taught me how to read a crowd, what to play, when to play. He taught me a lot about music. I got a music knowledge that I never would have had at that age if it wasn't for him, because he taught me so much about the old stuff, the disco, the 80s, the stuff that I never knew about. I
Mm.
knew more about the recent, the 90s, new recent hip hop and all that stuff. But he really, for a good year and a half to 2 years, he really drilled me and made me understand. Look at your crowd. What are you going to play now? How are you going to play your crowd? How are you going to bring him up? How are you going to bring him down? That's how I think that's where my DJ schooling really started, and really I got my base and my foundation to be so strong that afterwards I could play any type of music. Well, be realistic. I need, proper type of music for like events or clubs, whatever it is, and still be able to understand how to read a crowd, know what to play, when to play it, and go from there.
So when in that process did you? Because I mean, DJing is such a because there's not many people who can actually say they are DJing full time. That's what they
I
do.
mean,
That's who they
we
are.
could get into that because I do have a lot to say about that. Yeah.
But, well, okay, well, we can get into that, but because I'm just saying, there's a bit of a imposter syndrome. I feel like at the beginning, like, who am I to DJ, or how can you? Actually, my question for you, Yossi, is when did you just like tap into that identity and own yourself as, okay, I'm DJ Yossi, this is who I am, and
It just happened. I never asked for it. I was never looking for it. Everything just happened, uh, and I never forced it. I did it because I loved it. And then the gentleman, Carl, who actually is the one that took me under his wing, like he was the one that found my DJ name. Like he was always like calling me Yo C, like because my name is Yossi YOSSI, but he was like always saying Yo C. Like I'm like, oh, okay, that fits, Yo
there you
C.
go.
So that people, and it just stuck to me. And like I said, I never looked for it. I just did it because I loved it. I was never looking to do as a profession. I was never looking to do more with it. It became a passion. It lit up a fire in me. It lit up something that I'm like, I guess it woke me up, and it gave me an avenue to speak out or express myself. That's
Hmm.
how I was expressing myself, by music, because I was very shy. I was very shy, introverted. Um, Still am in a way,
Hmm.
and music is what really allows me to let myself talk and let
Yeah.
myself express myself.
Mm.
That's where I think it all started for me, and like up to today, I still do it because I mean, don't get me wrong, I get paid for it because that's what I do for a living now, but I still love it, and I still practice, and I still do things because I want to get better for myself. Um, Today, though, for the past what decade, I think a little bit more than a decade, like about like since 2007, 2008, since the whole software came out,
Hmm.
Serato, Tractor, well,
Hmm.
Tractor first,
Hmm.
Strato, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, you've seen an influx of DJs cut into the market, which is normal. Like, like photographers, you're going to see an influx of
Hmm.
photographers coming to the market, videographers, anything. Um, when technology becomes easier for something to make it for somebody, you're going to see an influx of people coming in, which is fine. It's cool. No, it's normal. You adapt yourself. The thing is that, okay, well, how do I still make myself different from all these other people that are coming in and doing the same thing as I am, but using the sync button, using the BPMs to count instead of hearing the music. I think it's about your experience. I think it's about knowing how to read a crowd, like I said. That's very important. And even now, when I do private events and clients ask me, well, what's your playlist like? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have a playlist. I don't know what your crowd is. Until I see your crowd and we speak beforehand, until I understand what you guys are about, and I see your crowd on the spot, then I'll be able to tell you, okay, well, I'll play this, I'll play that, or maybe I'll stay away from this. But I can't tell you anything until I'm there. Even in a club, like, you have to adapt yourself. You don't know, like, you don't know what kind of crowd you're going to get one day and the other day. Who knows? So it's always, to me, it's always about adapting, which a lot of DJs today do not have. They
Mm.
don't understand it. They play, the top 50, 60, top 100 songs that they find. And today, especially today, now in this trend of DJing, It's all about house music, a lot more about house
Mm-hmm.
music, which is way easier to mix.
Mm-hmm.
Ask any of them to mix hip hop, I don't think they'll be able to. Ask any of them to mix without a computer, I don't think they'll be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you know what? You get what you pay for. But a lot of them, like, okay, fine, they'll do a good job. They'll play the music that people want to hear. But are they really DJs? To me, not necessarily, because I know what a DJ really is about, and what your root and your experiences and the practices and what you need to get to the level you need to get to. But again, that's for me. That's my opinion.
You
Today
think
is a
this
whole
opinion
other
is like,
story.
you think this is like a older school opinion? Like people like
It,
DJs from your
I,
generation might say like, oh, these young cats, they're sinking and they're staying at
you can't,
124 BPM.
you can't fight technology,
Yeah.
and you won't be able to fight technology. And I tell this to a lot of my friends, a lot of guys that are my age, a little bit younger or a little bit older, and I keep telling them, I'm like, guys, at the end of the day, there's nothing you could do. It's either you go with it and you try to even better yourself and try to distinguish yourself even more, because you cannot stop technology at this point. You will not stop technology. You will not stop the influx of DJs coming in. That's the way it is, and that's how the scene is at this point. You have producers that are great producers but don't know how to DJ, but you know they'll learn how to read the BPMs, they'll learn how to whatever it is, they'll learn how to sync, and they'll do the job.
Yeah.
But people today, the crowd don't. I don't. A lot of them don't know a lot more of them don't know the difference anymore, and they don't really care as long as they hear the music that they want to hear. Like after COVID, a lot of things change.
Mm.
Pre-COVID, I would tell you, well, it's people still want to hear the talent. Today, less and less, because
Mm.
I feel like the new generation that's coming up after COVID don't really know about what DJing really is about. They
Mm.
just see the post-COVID, a lot, like, because a lot of these kids didn't get a chance to go out, right? They were 16, 18, COVID locked them down. So they didn't really get a chance to go out in clubs at that point and really experience the old schooler, well, not the old school DJ, but the real DJing.
Mm.
Um, so they know this now, and that's what they know. And to them, that's DJing, which you can't beat that. That's what it is.
Mm.
And you have to go with the times. And you have to grow and you have to learn. You have to continue progressing yourself as a DJ. And, you're not going to compete with a younger DJ. You just have to make sure that you're still relevant and you're still on the ball and you're still doing what the people want to hear. That's what it is.
Can you think you can learn something from that generation? Like, or
You
you
could
just,
always learn. You
yeah?
have to always learn. You cannot stop learning. If you stop learning, that's where you stop your career. That's as simple as that. You always want to learn. I still go out, like not as much, but I still go out. And when I go out, I want to hear what's going on. I want to see what the DJs are playing. Even though I know they're not really mixing, it doesn't matter at the end because you see the crowd's reaction. So you
What do you
want to
mean
see what
not,
the crowd reacts to.
what
And
do you
then
mean
you
not,
take that and you try to make it even better.
what do you mean not really mixing?
Well, a lot of DJs say they don't mix. They don't mix. Let's be honest over here. The DJs are coming out of the woodworks every day. Like don't know how to, like I said, they don't. The old way of DJing is listening to your mixes,
Mm-hmm.
controlling the speeds on each song by listening to understanding, oh, okay, after speed up this song or lower this song to get it to match in terms of BPM. It's not the same thing today. Today is very easy because you see the BPMs on your CD players or your software, and
Yeah.
you just have to like, okay, well this one's at 125, this one's at 130. Let me bring it down. It's gonna match at 125. Boom, that's it. That's all. Obviously, there's a count in terms of like how you have to bring in music songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as long as you master that, that's fine. But ask them to mix disco, they won't know. But do they need to mix disco? No. So you know what I mean. So at the end of the day, like I said, you have to adapt yourself. Technology is here. Eventually, AI is going to take over even more. So at that point, you're not even going to have to press sync or whatever it is. Just AI is going to take care of it for you. You want to mix
Mm.
these songs? Boom, just put it together. AI is going to do it for you. and then you're gonna have more DJs coming out. But again, like I said, like, you know, these companies like Pioneer, all these big companies, they want to make profit.
Yeah, for sure.
So to them, they don't care about a guy like me that cares about the real DJ. They don't care. They care about their end profits, their
Yeah,
margins.
yeah.
What can they do to bring in more people on the market, buy more of their products, and they don't give a shit about the DJ really. They care about, at the end of the day, how much they can put in their pockets. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's a business, and I get it, but and you can't stop it. So whoever says, like, whoever wants to like talk trash about the, you know what, at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's nothing you could do. The only thing you could do is make yourself better, brand yourself better. You know, you have to compete, right? So you have to give yourself an edge. What's your edge compared to the other guys? You know, I mean, the older you get, obviously you're not gonna, the younger generation doesn't know about you more, right? Because but you have to try, like, to recreate and reimagine yourself every single time. I mean, there's a few guys that I know that have been doing great with that. You know, like local guys, from local guys to big guys, like even Diplo. Look at Diplo. Diplo's my age, but Diplo, everybody knows Diplo, and he's reinvented himself many times. He's he went from being a hip hop producer, playing hip hop, to playing indie music, to creating indie music, to now basically playing a house,
Hmm.
and that's what he is. He's a house DJ more than anything at this point. So even though he knows how to play the rest, right now the market is about house. So he understood how to do that. He's about lifestyle. If you see his Instagram, it's about
Hmm.
lifestyle. You know, people love to see that, and they love to see, like, they love Diplo, and you know that's what it is. And he was one of the guys that was able to recreate himself, to and reimagine himself, and to keep being consistent and still be current and still demand the money that he's demanding, because he did a great job at it.
So how do you do it? Like, 'cause if I think about you as a DJ, I see this. I see Yossi with the hat, similar outfits.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when I'm thinking about you, at least from the time that I known you, the persona like DJ Yossi stayed pretty much the same throughout. It's like, are you just intentionally staying classic Yossi and not changing too much colors, too much this, and you have your specific sounds and skill set that you own. But in terms of brand and image, it's been quite consistent.
So my image, my brand has always been being an open format DJ,
Yep.
because I do a lot of events.
Yep.
So I do a lot of private stuff. I do a lot of corporate stuff. I do the club still. I travel also. Uh, am I a specific type of DJ? No, I'm not. I'm an open format DJ. That means, yes, I could play a whole night of house if I wanted to, if I needed to. Like, I could play hip hop, even though I don't want to play hip hop as much anymore, because to me, I don't relate to that as much as I used to, especially from today's music. Uh, but I could play. You know, it depends on my crowd. So I'm an open format DJ. That's what I've always been, from day one. So do I want to transition into something else? Maybe. Maybe I'll start. I mean, I have produced. I have songs that I've just never let brought out, because producing is one thing. It's getting your music out there. The distribution of it, that's another thing. It's not as easy as people think. Like, you could produce
Hmm.
as many songs as you want, but if it doesn't catch anywhere, you're not going anywhere.
Hmm.
So it's about connections. It's about your network. You have to network a lot, and that's why, like I said, you need to get out of your box. You can't
Hmm.
stay locally and think that magically you're going to become this big DJ. It could happen if you're lucky, but the chances are of you, like, doing that. You know, look at Kitchenada, great example. He produced music, and he started producing for other people, but he had his own sound, and we knew
Yeah.
exactly what Kitchenada was about, and he's still about that sound, and he's still
Hmm.
about that. And you see the guy, and he's amazing. You
Yeah.
know, a guy from Montreal, I think, what, Laval, I think, or Longueuil, I can't remember. I think Laval,
Really.
if I'm not mistaken. Uh, don't quote me, but the guy is amazing. And you know, he wasn't the best DJ, great producer, but he's getting better at DJing. He got better. I've heard him a long time ago, and I've heard him recently. He got better. I'm not saying like, but at the end of the day, like I said, people are going for him. He has a name. He has a following. He has a niche. This is who he is. So if I want to get there, I have to do basically like the same style, right? So if I want to produce music, then I have to produce music where I'm like, okay, well, if I want to produce house music, I'm focusing only on house now. That means I'm refusing all my other gigs. That means I have to focus on only this to be able to get to the level where I want to get. It's a sacrifice. Some people want to do it. Some people others don't. I have businesses. I have my industry events, which is basically my event company where we have the DJs for events, private events, corporate events. We have the lighting, we have the sound, we have the production stuff that we do also. That's been my baby for a while, for a long time actually. So I've been building that because I used to travel a lot. I used to do a lot of club gigs back to back, nonstop for like a good 15 years.
Wow.
And it's fun. It's tiring, but it's fun. I mean, I've done the Grammys, I've done the Oscar parties, I've done OK Magazine parties, I've done New York Fashion Weeks. I've done so many parties. I've traveled LA, Toronto. I've done everywhere. And it's a lot of fun. The money's good, but after a while, you're like, you know what? I'm tired. Like, it's fun, but I want to stay home. I want to be able to stay home and just make money at home. So when I created my company, that's where I make the most money because private events, corporate events, and you build it. It doesn't come right away, but it's a process. It's a building process. So I started just DJing for a long time. Then I started buying equipment. I started buying more equipment. Sorry, reinvesting in it, and then buying more. Where it's like, okay, well now I'm renting my stuff. We're doing rentals. We're not only DJing anymore. We're doing rentals of lighting. We're doing conferences. I built a company a bit more where the income that I'm making with that was way more than I was doing by traveling as a DJ. And a traveling DJ that doesn't produce will have his time. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And the money will not always be there. Unless you're a traveling DJ that produces music, it's another story, right? Because people are paying because they know who you are for your music. Especially if you have one hit, you're blowing up. And that one hit could drag you for another 10, 15 years because you have that one hit.
Yeah.
And you could ask the 20, 30, 40, $50,000 per gig.
That's crazy.
So that's a whole other level.
Yeah. Take me through the process of actually let's go back a little bit because you mentioned Oscar, Grammys, OK. I went to the OK party. I was just back.
Yeah, you came.
I did. I was like just witnessing everything. You were crushing it. I was very proud. And I'm curious to know, like, the Backstreet Boys. Like, how did you end up connecting with them? One of the biggest band, if not the biggest boy band on earth. I mean, from generation to generation. How did a kid from Montreal ended up?
Backstreet Boys it's been about 15 years back and on and off with them, and that's because of one gentleman, one of my friends, that used to live in Ottawa, that came to Montreal a lot. I used to see me at Bonanote a lot because I used to DJ at Bonanote for I was a resident there for I think 13, 14 years, and Bonanote was literally like the hot spot for a long time, and he would come there. And he was the one that reached out to me. He's like, look, I do things with some artists and I'm looking for, I think you'd fit great because I need a DJ that would do after parties, I'm like, okay, great. And he was doing stuff with the Backstreet Boys. And that's how I started with the Backstreet Boys, with him. So I started doing that for a while, a lot.
So, but what was your role? Like, what were you doing?
I was doing the after parties.
After parties of
I was doing the after parties after the shows.
Okay.
After the concerts, yeah. After they had concerts, and I would be the after party DJ. So they would book
like a club.
Yeah, so they would book venues, and a couple of them would show up, and I'd be DJing the venue with them until Nick decided that he wanted to become a DJ. And so at that point, so he was doing all the after parties at that point because he was DJing, and they didn't need me anymore. So which is normal,
Yeah.
And I got it, but it was always been a lot of like back and forth. Like it was always an on and off with them. So up until like I mean I did the boat cruises with them. I did after parties with them. When it came to Montreal, I did a lot of parties with them also. Recently, like was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, I did Cancun with them. It was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean Howie. I mean this wasn't a show, but Howie came with me to Antarctica. But yeah, I mean overall they're great guys. They're great guys. So I've done that with them. So the same gentleman put me on with Usher, and that's where I met Fat Man Scoop, which passed away unfortunately, but he was a great guy too. So him and I became very close. I did stuff like Miguel also was on the tour. Um, I just did so many things. Like then in Montreal, then it was Sugar Sammy in Montreal. So Sugar Sammy was a good friend of mine beforehand because I used to DJ in clubs that he would promote before he was a comedian. So a lot of people don't know this about Sam, but Sam was a promoter in clubs a long time in Montreal before he actually became the comedian that he is today.
He must have
And
crushed it in as a promoter. He has such a like.
he actually that's where he got his name because girls were calling him Sugar Sammy. So that's how he kept his name. That's how he's called Sugar Sammy this whole time. And one day, I think I was doing a corporate in Florida, and he was doing the same corporate as me. He got hired, and he's like, one day I'm gonna do my one man show, and when I do my one man show, you're gonna be my DJ.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, anything more about it, like if it happens, it happens. And funny enough, it was the You're Gonna Rire show that it was supposed to be like maybe one show, ended up being 5 years. So I became his tour DJ for that point on, and it was all the shows I would open up for him. I would open up, then there would be another comedian warming it up also before him. But for 5 years, I was doing that with him, and that opened up other doors. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do his show now because the venue was smaller and he had to do double back-to-back shows, so it wasn't really worth it. But like then I got approached by other people like Gad Elmaleh, for example, like from France, to do a big show with him in Kev Adams. That I was booked for, but then a month before they canceled because they didn't really know where to put me anymore because they did the whole run through and kind of sucked for me because I'm like, all right, cool. Well, my whole 6 to 8 months was already booked with you guys, so now I'm kind of screwed. I got kind of screwed with that. And COVID also didn't help because Sam was supposed to do a big tour in France in 2020, and we were supposed to do it together, right? So, but March hit. That's when we were supposed to start, and that's when COVID hit, and that's when everything just fell through. So didn't get a chance to do that. But there's a lot of things that I was able to do, and I'm so blessed that I was able to do it. And other things, COVID kind of ruined it, but it's what it is.
What it's like to really prepare for events like now we talked about Backstreet Boys, Sugar Sammy, like being on stage, but what about like Grammys, Oscars, where it's an exclusive room? It's really hard to get in, and then imagine having the pressure. Let's say like even like specifically the Grammys, where it's the best artists in the world, or at least in America. Everyone has a sound for music. They're all like, how do you prepare to DJ an event like that? What's the process? Are you nervous, or do you
definitely nervous.
Yeah, and do you
definitely nervous, of course, because you're playing for people that know music.
Exactly, like
right. There's a lot of songs. Yeah, I mean, Montreal is not the same caliber of understanding and knowing music than when you're in LA, because people in the States, they know their music, like from old school to new stuff. They know the music.
Yeah.
a lot of times over here, I can't do what I do in LA.
Really?
But it's a lot of preparation. A lot of preparation from practicing, like because I still scratch, but less and less in clubs. I don't do that as much anymore because there's just no point for it. But
Mm.
before, like when the open format was and like the whole DJing era,
Hmm.
whatever it is, that was a big thing. So I would practice a lot. I would I would research music a lot. Prepare crates of songs that I'm like, okay, I want to play this, I want to play this. But again, like I said before, earlier, as much as I prepare myself, I still need to read the crowd and see what's in front of me. So I would prepare these crates, and when I got there, that's when I knew what I was gonna play.
How many crates do
And
you prepare? Like a crate is a playlist, right? When you say
a
crate,
playlist
so how many playlists? Let's say you would prepare
depends.
for, let's say
I
Grammys, like one, two, three, and you would tag
It
them.
depends on the crate. Like it could be like old school
Yeah.
or hip hop or 80s rock, 90s funk. Like it really goes all over the place. So I would choose the songs that I'm like, I like this, I like this, I like this. Oh, they'll like this. Uh, Hear other mixtapes also from other DJs that I respect a lot to see what they would be playing in general. Maybe some songs that I never knew about, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. I want to get this. So a lot of research. So I would do that and just make sure that I'm prepared musically, and then when I get to the event, understand what kind of crowd and see the crowd, and then you just go from there.
Would you? Okay, so uh, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of making this up, but like I'm a DJ. I feel like has to be a crowd pleaser, like a people pleaser in a way, right? It's not because when you're DJing, it's not about you. Like you're there to, you're not by yourself. Like, oh, this is cool. It's like, yeah, but it's not what they want to hear. And let me just go here. So if let's say there's like Kendrick Lamar in a room, and there's Adele, and there's, I don't know, Sabrina Carpenter, and like all these different artists, would you try to like, oh, let me put some Kendrick here, and oh, I see Adele, let me like swoop in some Adele, and try
Well,
to
you
please
have
the
to be
crowd?
careful, right? You have to be
Why?
careful because not every artist wants to hear themselves in a club.
Really?
Not everybody. Some of them do, really, but not everybody. Um I mean, I remember when Drake was at Buonanotte, and he came in and reserved the whole place for him.
The whole
Or
club?
yeah, literally.
Okay.
Or even one night he was just there with his entourage. He loves listening to himself. Uh,
So what
but
happened? You had like some Drake, you had like a bunch of Drake's
of
songs at
course,
least? Yeah.
of course, I had to be ready for that.
Yeah.
We had Jay-Z come once. As much as these artists are there, and you have also like a big, massive crowd that's not these artists, you have to make sure that you know that, or ask at least whoever's in charge, are they okay if I play this music for them? Like in terms of like their songs, is because you don't want to offend anybody, right? And sometimes you have to know who doesn't like who, so you have to stay
Exactly.
away. You have to stay
Yeah.
away from some songs. Um,
So
but in
tricky.
general, like as a DJ, what I am as a DJ, yes, like you said, I have to be a crowd pleaser. That's my job as a DJ because people are not coming to see me. I'm hired to make sure that people have a good time.
Hmm.
Uh, so there's a lot of questions involved, a lot of research, a lot of
Mm.
understanding your crowd, these artists. Also, sometimes I have to do research on these artists to see like what they like, what their songs are, their albums and everything else, what are big hits. Sometimes just to remind myself, and then just go from there. And like I said, research is very important. Asking questions to whoever is there to make sure that you don't offend anybody, because that's the last thing you want to do. That's it. I mean, like I said, I'm not the type of DJ that people come or paying to come and see me. I'm like what you said, a crowd pleaser. So I have to make sure that I understand my crowd.
Is there one specific song in the past few years that just freaking lights up the room in those rooms, like at the Grammys or at the Oscar, and everyone just go like, Okay, who's this DJ?
Lately, no. I mean, lately.
In those rooms, not like here locally,
Look,
Montreal, or just
I did a Grammy party earlier this year. It was an older crowd, right? So it was more about the '80s and the '90s for them. That's what their vibe was. A little bit of the new stuff, but more that kind of crowd. Um, Again, it just depends. Like I did what did I do? I did the Emmy parties a couple of years ago, and I started off with a little bit of older music, popish, whatever it is, just to get understanding the crowd. Uh, and I was actually going up to like bringing the level up, but people were actually partying more to like the old school stuff, less of the new stuff, more of the like the House of Pains, uh, like all the like more of like the Poisons, Belle Biv DeVoe, like because there was that kind of crowd. They didn't really care much about the new stuff. They partied more on the older stuff for some reason. It always depends. It always depends on the crowds that you get. You never know. You just never know. So I can't really tell you is there a specific song. I mean, I'm sure Kendrick, Not Like Us, was big, especially if I was in LA, for sure,
hmm
100%. Like I did actually a Halloween party for this modeling company in LA at my restaurant at the Hideaway, and it was more the new stuff, right? And the new Beyonce album. They were going to crazy to that. They were going to Kendrick. They were going, I did a Grammy party at the Hideaway last year for one of the producers that did Tyler's album, Water. He's the one that produced it, and it was all about R&B, cool R&B, fun vibe, that kind of stuff. And I had to read up about him because I need to know what he produced because you wanted to play what he did because that's what people liked because they were there for him. So it always depends. I don't think there's a specific song right now. It just depends on your crowds.
Mm. I think that's what you just said. Just speak on the level of really dedication and professionalism after all these years, still making sure each set is unique, fresh, and research. So I shout out for you to that. And you mentioned about something about Hideaway. Let's transition a little bit more on the whole entrepreneur behind the DJ, which is a big part of who I also know. I've went to have some food with you at some of your restaurants. So you've made bold move from Escondite, Gokudo, the Hideaway, Biru, and beyond. So what was that first? What made you actually take that first leap of like, okay, DJing, industry events, and now let me jump into hospitality, into restaurants. How did that happen, and where are you now with that?
So my first one was Biru, um, and this was about I think Biru has been open for like 12, 13 years now.
So what's
Uh,
Biru?
Biru is
Just sort of.
our Japanese izakaya.
Okay. And it's here in
Uh,
Montreal.
yeah, that one's in Montreal. That's my favorite one, to be honest. That's
Same.
our first one. That's my favorite one. I love that one so much. I started with that one because my partner knew me very well from because he used to be an owner at Times Supper Club back in the day. So we've known each other for a long time because I used to DJ also at Times Supper Club. Then he went on to manage and being an owner of an event space, and he knew I had an event company, so he would rent our lighting and everything else for events. And he was doing this restaurant with my other partner, and they had somebody else to come in with them. Something happened. It wasn't fitting. I don't know what happened. Maybe the funds weren't coming in. They were looking for somebody else to come in, and he thought about me.
For
He
what?
just
Like
called me
as an investor or as a
as an investor.
creative investor?
As an
Okay.
investor. So he called me. He asked me if I was interested. I'm like, I'd love to see the place. Let's see what it is, what it's about. Um, I went in, and it fit me. It fit my criteria. It's like it fit the fact that it wasn't expensive. Food was great. Service was great. Ambiance was great. I didn't have to come in a suit and I have to
hmm
spend crazy amounts of money to eat. It was very reasonably priced. I could come 2, 3 times a week and not break the bank. I could come in joggers if I wanted to, uh, or come in a suit if you had to, if after work, and still feel comfortable. That's what made me get into it, and that's what made me want to invest in it, because it just felt right, and everything just felt right, and that all the criteria that I had in my mind were checked. Honestly,
That's it.
Beer was like our first baby, and honestly, it's still around and it's doing amazing, and people still love it, and my partners are doing a great job with it. We have great staff. The food is amazing still. Price point still great, which is great, especially in these kind of environments, right? With restaurants bills like going like crazy right now, and food
Yeah,
bills like, and
it's
you, so
insane.
you could, like I said, you could still go and still be there, and still come out with a reasonable
Yeah,
bill after,
yeah,
and you eat very well.
yeah.
And you could go 2 3 times a week, like I said before. So that's how I got started with this one, and then we decided that we wanted to open a second one, a Mexican restaurant. And
The
since the
same, the
success of
same
the
group, the same group of
same group,
partners.
and
Okay.
uh, we added one more guy with us, and it was the same concept but in Mexican, and that's Escondite. So that's how it started, and it took a little bit of time to build. It took a bit, but once it hit, it hit. Like Escondite was a big hit.
This one is in Montreal too.
That one's in Montreal too. Yeah. So Escondite. Then we opened a second location, not far from the first one on Drummond, and then we opened up a third location, and then that location we're like, okay, well, we're gonna start franchising. We franchised
Mm.
that one, and then we started franchising other Escondites around the city. So I have to, I'm not sure, but I think we're at about 8 or 9 total Escondites
Damn,
right now.
seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, last
We
year.
we kept we kept 2 for ourselves, and we
Okay.
franchised the rest.
Wow, congrats! I didn't know that.
So we have like in Brossard, we have in DDO, we have in Laval, Repentigny, uh, Old Port. We're still have people like wanting to open with us, right? So we have other locations that we're looking into right now for franchises. And now I think that the next step is hopefully to do the same, but with Bureau and grow Bureau. But don't get me wrong, we did have other restaurants that didn't have the same success,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had
Of course.
Habanera, which was a Cuban restaurant, great food, but very small in space. And at the end of the day, you don't make money with small spaces.
Yeah,
You make
probably
money with
volume.
100. Well, you need hundreds, at least between 80 to 120 to do numbers. When you have something that's 40-seater, 30-seater, and you're not that expensive,
Yeah,
it's harder to make money, especially when you have overhead, staff, food, all that stuff. It's harder to make money. So that one, unfortunately, we had to close down during COVID. We had a poke. We had Poke's like, right, a great poke brand, but I feel like because I think we were a little bit all over the place with the other ones, that we weren't really focusing well enough on this one to make it grow properly. Um, Even though it was great, like in my opinion, it was one of the best pokés I would eat in Montreal. We had 3 locations, but again, it had a lot of potential. But again, when COVID happened,
a lot of restaurants suffered during that time. Yeah.
a lot of restaurants suffered, so we had to close that one. And Hanzo that we had also, which was like the sister
Mm-hmm.
restaurant of Biru, weren't lucky with that one either, because we opened up right before COVID. Opening up right before COVID, starting to like promote it, and then COVID hit. Then for 2 years, 2.5 years, we didn't open. We're so close because of COVID. Then we reopened. Businesses were not open yet, so lunches were not happening. We were like, so it was a harder time for it to get back on its feet and grow, because it didn't really have a reputation. It was still trying to grow from the 2.5 years that it shut down from COVID. So unfortunately, that one also we had to shut down. So we're focusing on the ones that are working and the brands that are working. We have Gokuro, for example. Gokuro is just a Japanese cocktail bar. Very cool place. We don't market it because we don't want to market it. It's a word of mouth, and it does well. Honestly, it does very well. It's a quiet place. It's like a speakeasy that you have to know about. So if you don't know about it, then you just don't know about it. But it's like people go and they tell their friends, and then they go, and that's how that one just grew slowly. It took a bit of time, but it's there now. It's nice. We're not a club. We're not that kind of vibe. We're just a nice bar, speakeasy, like with a small restaurant at the front, like maybe a 5-6 seater that you don't expect that you walk into a bar right after. So you come into the restaurant, then you pass your curtains, and then it's a whole new place. It's a cocktail bar, which is people love it. I don't drink, so I don't get to taste the cocktails, but the mocktails are amazing. So we have those ones. But like in business, it's like you have your ups and downs. You try. Hopefully, it works, even though you're trying to mimic what you already have. Uh, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Situations like COVID then doesn't help. There's a lot of things that are out of your control that you can't predict, and you can't control either. So some of the restaurants had to suffer, but it's okay. Now we're focusing on the ones that are doing well and making sure that they keep doing well and expanding them to the next level.
Yossi, let's say I'm a restaurant. Let's say I want to start a restaurant and I'm listening to this podcast. Would you have, let's say, one denominator common with, because you have success and failure from what you just mentioned, success with Escondite and some failures with the other restaurant. What would be at least maybe just like one common denominator that you've learned from those failures for
Your
anyone who wants to
product,
start? Your what?
your product.
Your product.
What are you opening? What are you doing? What's your food? What are you attracting? That's number one. That's number one thing, right? It's your product because that's going to be your brand. After that, it's just location, rent. Make sure that you're you don't want to overdo it either. Like you don't want to start paying a $50,000 rent when your food is not the price that you're supposed to be at to be able to pay for that rent plus overhead plus everything else that comes with it. So, but I think your product is really important. Your brand is very important because people today like that. They like the brand look. They like the product. They want to make sure everything is good. Your food has to be great, but what's your twist? What are you doing? Are you just going to open up another, I don't know, chicken place just because you think chicken's going to do well, but there's like 20 chicken places on the same street? How are you gonna come out and be different so people can go to you and be like, oh my god, this place was amazing, the food was great, this was great, you know so there's some funny thing is like there's some holes in the walls that are doing amazing,
Hmm.
but because the food is amazing, people go there because the food is just incredible, and they come in, it's an experience. So it's like your experience, your branding, all of that has to come into play. Don't just open a restaurant just to open a restaurant to think you're going to make money. It's not going to work that way. It's not.
Mm.
Just go open a franchise. Go open a McDonald's if you want. At that point, you'll be safer if you want to do that. You know what I mean? But I would say there's a few things that have to go in the back end to make sure that your product stands out and that you attract a crowd, a clientele. People are going to come to you. Like, what's different about you? And also, a lot of times people are going to come for you also, right? If you're the face, you're going to greet people. You want to make sure that everybody's served well. It's a nice environment. Food is one thing, but also the way they feel when they come in is another thing.
Mm.
They want to feel good when they come in. It's all only one thing. It's a multiple range of things that
I
comes along
see.
with it.
Your I'm curious to hear your take on this. So this is from the study that I've been not just reading but also word of mouth and people in the nightlife industry that there's a big shift happening at the moment. You know me, I'm all about health and wellness. I've been a DJ, but now I've been transitioning. I've been in that nightlife, which was which is really hard. I think like to, I mean, for me, it was just super hard to, anyway, just like the whole lifestyle. I don't know how you still doing it night after night. I would love to know your recipe, but my point is there's a big shift in terms of the next generation wanting to be more into health, wellness, waking up early, drinking less alcohol, sales declining, clubs closing, and I'm seeing it. And what and I'm part of that movement as well. And it's not that I want to be part of the declining club movement. I'm just part of the health and wellness. And do you see this in Montreal, number one? And do you think that there's a future for the club scene? And let's start with Montreal, but like in general, you think it's just gonna just keep on dying down, or it's just gonna be
I think
shifting
you are right.
about what?
I've been seeing it for a while in terms of
Yeah,
like people wanting to be more healthy, especially the new generation. They drink less.
yeah,
There's less bottle service. There's less sales in clubs. I know that because I speak to friends of mine also
mm-hmm,
that own the clubs. And I mean, sales are not what they used to be like 10, 15 years ago. They're not. Let's be honest over here. Uh, People are more into the day parties now.
yeah,
Less into like I'm more into the day parties. I would rather do a day party than DJing at night. But you still have a balance between both. You still have some people that want to go out at night, and
for
others that
sure.
just want to focus on the day and they want to be able to be home at 10 o'clock and that's it.
Solid.
But I have seen, and I do see it a lot, that people are healthier, are trying to be healthier at least,
Yeah,
drinking way less than they
yeah,
used to do before. And I think the clubs now have to kind of reinvent the wheel a bit. I mean, I know my partners in LA, they own Warwick, and they even tell me like sales of the alcohol sales are low compared to what they used to be,
so what do they do
which
about it?
is
Like,
they
or
they
if
they try to reinvent it. They try to do how can they make it how can they make the experience better? So it has to be about an experience. Everything has to be about experiences. But don't get me wrong, London closed down so many clubs because there was like I think like 600 clubs I think
wow,
in the past couple of years. A lot of clubs are closing down, but there's still parties happening.
yeah,
I think the staple ones are still doing great. You still have the people wanting to party at night or whatever it is. I get it that it's less and less, but I mean, if you look in Vegas day parties are humongous, are great. People like go crazy for day parties. Festivals are during the day, and at night around 10, 11 o'clock. So, but you have the after parties, you have the night parties. Like maybe I don't know, maybe ticket sales, bring in big DJs. I don't know what exactly because I didn't want to get involved in that world. I had many chances to be like a club owner, and that's something I wanted to stay away from because I didn't want to be connected to that. I want to be DJing. I want to have my restaurants. I want to buy real estate. I don't want my name to be associated to these kind of things.
why?
I want it to be more clean and better living than having
Okay,
headaches of dealing with cops came in this tonight. They're bothering us with this. Oh, the fights. I don't want to deal with that, and I don't
fair.
want my name to be associated with that either. I
I
want it to
see.
be more on my end, anyways. I want it to be. It wasn't about the money. I didn't care about it's not, like because you could make great money with clubs. You can, but there's a lot of headaches associated with it. A lot of headaches that I didn't feel like I was interested in having. I was happy with growing my event company, growing the restaurants, growing my real estate, because I feel like real estate has more value in the long run,
Mm,
and you could come out with more than dealing with the headaches that you have with the clubs. So, but to bring back to your point, I think there is a reinvention to be done, but the more you see that there is more day parties happening. It could be from coffee shops.
mm-hmm.
People are doing coffee shop parties. They're doing pizza parties. They're doing laundry parties. I'm like, they're just coming out with all kinds of different things now. Like it's different. It's crazy. But people want to party more during the day than at night. I don't even know how these people like. I don't even know how the coffee shops make money. Like, how much
Yeah.
coffee can you sell? You know. But I mean, I guess that it's an influx of people that come into their place and they order coffee, then they would never that they wouldn't have on a regular basis, right? So to them, it's like, okay, cool. That's an extra for us. Uh, Obviously, it's not the same thing as alcohol sales, because we know alcohol sales is where you make money. Like in a restaurant, it's not the food sales; it's the alcohol sales that you make your money on. Uh, but again, like I think the smart ones, the smart owners, are going to understand and know what they need to do to reinvent or to attract the crowd in the clubs that they have. That's what I think. I mean, I'm not an expert in the clubs, so I can tell you, but the ones that I do know, that what they do, they try to now, they try to be, it's more of an experience. You know, like you go to, especially in Montreal, you go to like places like La Voûte, Yoko Luna, all these great places. Like these, all the owners are great in these places, but and they bring you experiences, they bring you acts, entertainment. There's always something going on. It's not only about the DJ anymore. It's a lot more things going on at the same time. So it's an experience that they try to bring you. The look of the place, the atmosphere, the lighting, the all that stuff. So it's becoming more of an. I think they're trying to attract people more with the experience than just coming in, buying bottles, and that's it.
Mm.
That's what it is.
And you feel like it's like you're DJing at these places, so do you actually see that it's working? Like, is it bringing a different crowd in, or we're still in that transition, trying out phase?
No, they're bringing the crowd. They're
Yeah.
bringing the crowd instead of being just a club. Because just being a club now today, you have nothing to offer. If you have nothing to offer, you're not going to attract the crowd.
Mm.
So you need more, right? So, and that's why the entertainment comes in.
So if I come to Montreal for a weekend, I'm here for a bachelor. I feel like you would be a good reference to kind of guide me. Where would you
Yeah.
go?
Well, it
What would you
depends
go?
also, right? It also depends on what you like. Because there are different places. Like, Palma's great also, but there's no entertainment. But Palma's great because it's an older crowd. It's a restaurant. Food is great. It's an older crowd also. So it depends. Do you want to be with an older crowd, or do you want me to send you to like a Flygian that's a younger crowd, right?
Hmm.
Like, it depends on your vibe. Both places are great. It just depends on what you like.
I see.
And if you tell me, well, I want to hear like Afro tech, deep house, and I just want to have a good time. I'll tell you, go to Flygian or go to this place or go to that place. Like, there's different places for everybody. Uh, there's flavors for everybody. It just depends what you like, really.
Mm.
And all
So
these places are great. It just depends on what the person wants to hear, and also the age range, right? Like, if you're an older person, you want to be something more relaxed, whatever it is. I'll tell you, okay, well, there's this place you could go to, whatever it is. Like, Marcus is great, but I mean, until a certain time, until the music pumps up and like it becomes more of a party. But it just depends on you. It depends on what you feel like you want to have. If you want to hear hip hop, there's less and less in Montreal, but I can tell you where to go, where But again, it depends on your preferences.
you feel like
There's always
Montreal?
something. There's something for everybody.
You feel
There's
like
always something
Montreal?
for everybody.
You feel like Montreal is still a still a staple and competing with these main markets across the world. Let's say like like a place like I don't know, maybe not New York obviously, but let's say Boston or a place in Europe or Toronto. Like, is it still a
I've never
solid
been.
choice?
I mean, I can't tell you because there's a lot of places that I have never been to, so I can't tell you how we compare to those places. But I could tell you that Montreal is a party city.
Yeah,
People, when they go out, they have fun. They want to
nice.
go and party. That's the difference. To the places I've gone to, I can compare, and I tell you, well, no, Montreal could just blows it out of the water because people love to party. They love to go out. They love to party, especially when it's summertime. It's crazy over here. So and in Montreal also, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some places where as much as you try, it just doesn't work. But overall, the city of Montreal, we have a good time. People are there, people are alive. People go there and they have a good time, they party.
I
That's for
love
sure.
I love to hear that. I mean, it's I'm a big fan of our city, so and I know you're very involved, so I want to know, Yossi, and just a little bit like let's talk a bit about mindset, and then we'll switch to something else. But I've known you for, like I said, about 10 years now, and we've done many things together, from training to walking on the Mont Royal and having this conversation. I've seen your evolution from close and far. What do you think changed the most in the last 10 or 15 years in your mindset or your identity to be who you are today? What have you like shifted, if
Being
anything?
more focused. Even though it's no, I was actually very focused in like from 15 to like on. Like my head was just focused into where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be. Uh, Still am today. A little bit more relaxed because I'm trying to enjoy life a bit more. Because when I was younger, I was just work, 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 getting it done, getting it done, getting it done, non-stop, non-stop. Never take a vacation. Just do what you need to do. Today, I'm like, all right, I did all this work. It got me to where I am today. I thank my younger self for doing that. Now it's just time to take a little bit of a breather. Enjoy yourself a
Mm.
bit. Be able to enjoy life a little bit now. Because of all the hard work that I had done to get me where I am today, and the moves that I had done, which I'm very thankful of because I took chances and I did some moves. I'm like, I can't believe I did it, and I'm so happy I did it. Got me to where today I'm like, I can actually breathe. I can actually not worry as much. I can actually be like, oh wow, because of what I did, look at me now. I could do this. I could do that. Financially, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry. You know, when you're younger and you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay for this?
Mhm.
How am I going to live? Like, you're always worrying, worrying, worrying. And then as you do things, and then when you do things and you learn things and you explore things and you ask questions and you grow and you take risks, your older self will be like, is going to be very happy. That's, 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 I think my transition from back then to now. I'm, I'm a little bit more relaxed. Like I'm still focused, I'm still working, I'm still doing my things, I'm still like serious, but I'm a little bit more relaxed.
I'm
That's for
happy
sure.
to. I'm very happy to hear that because I know that you're very very hardworking and have so many projects.
Yeah.
Let me put you on the spot here because this is goes well with what you're saying. As someone who I've trained you many times, like over
Oh yeah.
30, 40, 50 sessions, push hard.
I think you're the
Uh,
best training I've had, by the way.
I appreciate that, bro.
You're,
Yeah, but you're always showing up. Yossi and I were training sometimes 3 times, 4 times a week, sometimes even five. And are you training today? Are you
I am
still?
training today.
You are
I'm still training. Yeah, I'm still training.
good.
But I'm training smarter.
Mm,
Let's just put it that way. I'm actually training smarter. Trying to train where I train where I don't overdo it anymore. Because I feel like my body needs to relax a bit more,
recover, yeah,
needs to take breaks a bit more,
sure,
to be able to re-energize itself to go back harder again.
yep,
So when I do go hard, I take a little break so my body just adjusts. So for me to go back on again. So the way I was training with you was insane,
yeah, we're hard,
and but I loved it.
yeah.
But I saw the results that I saw with you. I never got afterwards again. And that's why I keep telling you, like, I'm like, when are you Montreal? Like, I want to, like, if you were closer to me,
Yeah.
we'd still be doing like 2, 3 times a week at least, because it was the best training I ever had. But I still go to the gym. I know, I understand my body now. I understand what my body needs. I understand how to train my body to the results I wanted to get to. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wisdom. That's wisdom right there. That's awesome. So Yossi, we have one more. I just want to speak about one more thing here, and it's something that is coming up in your life, which is going to be, I think, your best, biggest chapter yet. And then we'll do a few rapid questions
Yeah.
and call it a day. So, I mean, I was so happy to hear that you're going to be becoming a father, and
Yes.
let's just talk a little bit about it. How and it's great because it feel like you're set up in a good position in your life financially, and that you have like solid foundations. It's being an entrepreneur and having children. There's yeah, it's a whole different ball game. How are you feeling about that?
At the beginning, I was very nervous,
Yeah,
happy but nervous, very nervous, stressed a lot because, like you just mentioned, to me in my head is like, okay, well, I want to make sure that this baby has everything.
Yep.
that this baby's okay, that this baby's going to have everything it needs.
Yep.
Financially, am I going to be okay? The house, school, like a lot of things. Sorry, a lot of things just go in your head to make sure that I don't want to screw this up. So there was a lot of stress. But as the months progressed, the more I'm like, you have this. Don't worry
There you
about it.
go.
You're good. You're okay. Just go with it. Like, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of things that, like, life is just crazy. But I think now I'm better than what I was at the beginning, and my girlfriend will tell you that too. I hope. But I got better. I'm better where I am now than what I was at the beginning. Because at the beginning you're like, oh my god, you're super happy, but then I'm like, oh shit, wait, no, hold on. Is it going to be okay? Do I like school is going to cost me a fortune? What am I going to do for school? What am I going to do for this food? But after a while, you're like, okay, don't worry, it's everything's there. It's coming along, and again, I've worked hard all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I still work hard, but I've worked very hard for a long time to get to a point in my life where I'm like, you're good. You don't have to stress as much. You don't have to worry as much. And I tell this to a lot of people when we speak about, like, how to become an entrepreneur or how to build, you know, you, I've saved my money. I worked, but I saved my money. I didn't spend it stupidly. I never drank. I don't go out and spend on alcohol. I barely ever traveled before, unless I was paid to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never spent on crazy things. I always reinvested in my company, always reinvested in myself, and just made sure that what I had was growing. So I think by doing so, it helped me to be where I am today, financially more flexible and more free, let's say, and not have to worry as much as I used to. So now having a kid, I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like when I was a kid, I didn't have much.
Mm-hmm.
My parents couldn't give me much. It's not because they didn't want to, it's just because they couldn't. They would have wanted to, but they couldn't. So I started working at 12, 13, and I just built myself. And I'm like, I just want to be good for myself. And I just had that focus and I had that fire in me to get to where I am today. And the first thing I'll always tell people, how do you get anywhere? Save your money. Spend what you need to spend on. Spoil yourself a little bit here and there, but be able to try to save as much as you can. Because to me, real estate, if you could get into that game and understand that game, you can just fly. The second you understand how to buy real estate, how to invest in real estate, and the different programs and the different loans and the different bridges of the second you understand how to do that, you'll understand how to grow your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
But people need to understand they need to study that. They need to ask questions. You need to look online. Banks will not tell you these things, right? But you need to understand these things. And the more you understand about financial systems and how they work, you could just fly afterwards, because you could buy a place, refinance that place, buy another place, refinance that place, buy another place, have your money continuously moving, and then your net worth just goes up and up and up and up, and then from one day you'll be like from nothing to like a millionaire. But it just takes the right moves, and you have to understand how to do those moves. You can't just think, well, okay, if I buy this, what's gonna? No, you need to understand how to get those moves. Like I would ask a lot of questions to a lot of people that were in the real estate business, that are, and I'm like, well, how do you get to this? How do you do that? What do I need to do? Like, there's a lot of tricks, a lot of things that people at that level know that you don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to know, you need to ask questions, and you need to understand, and you need to know how to get there. So, yeah.
Amazing. I'm curious, like, if you had like maybe one solid advice to give to someone who wants to start DJing in 2025 with everything that is happening, all the new software, all the new music. Like it's such a different world than when you started in the 90s. As someone who succeeded, two question part. Number one, what is the number one advice you would give to someone to start? And the second part would be, what would be the key to longevity? Because you've been in the game for what, 30 years, 40 years? Like
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years. Sorry, I don't want to like push it at like you're 60 something.
It's okay. 30 years.
For 30 years, which is probably way longer than any DJ. What's the secrets for longevity? And also, what is one solid advice you would give to a DJ starting?
Don't have a big head.
Don't have a big head. So humble.
Stay humble. Don't have a big head. Do it because you love it. Don't do it because of the money. Do it because you actually love it. The money is going to come. If you actually love it, and if you actually practice, and you know what you're doing, and you want to do it because you love it. Don't do it for money. Never do things for money. Do it because you want to do it, because you love it. The money's going to come. I never did it for money. I did it because I loved it. I still do it because I love it. Money is here now. Thank God, because after all these years, I hope so. But I never did it because of the money. I did it because I loved it, because it was a passion. That's number one. And then also practice. Always practice. And always try to elevate yourself. Don't think you're better than anybody else. Always try to elevate yourself. Always learn. Always try to better yourself. That's very important. And, networking. Networking is very important, because a lot of the DJs today are going to be in and out, because there's so much of them. In and out. It's going to come in and out. So what's going to differentiate yourself? And you're going to see it. People are going to see it, right? They're going to see if you're really into it or not. And after a while, the ones that just were in for the money, they're going to disappear. The other ones are actually in because they love it. They're going to stick around.
Okay. I think that's great. If anyone who wants to become a DJ, I would highly recommend to take this into consideration. Last question, and then we'll do a few rapid fire. Your baby is here with us. What is one life advice you want to share with your baby?
To be kind. Be kind. Be smart. Be careful of your surroundings. Be careful who you trust. Try to make you. I mean, even if they try to make the right decisions, they're gonna make mistakes. Make mistakes. You have to make mistakes, no matter what. But just be a good person overall. Like, people are gonna be bad to you. It's gonna, no matter what, it's gonna happen. But still be a good person, and just move on. That's very important.
It's beautiful.
That's it. The rest is just teachings, understanding. Like, my personal stuff. I mean, even though the baby will have to go through its own personal stuff, if it wants to listen to what I have to say, cool. If it doesn't, it's normal. It's part of life. Like, I didn't really listen to my parents a lot of times. I just did it my way, and then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, they were right about this. But like, my mom never liked me DJing. She go to camp. I never listened to her, but that was my decision, and look where I am now.
Yeah.
But it just depends on a few things. Like, just do you, be happy, be good, and try to make the right decisions. You're gonna make mistakes, but try to make the right decisions from those mistakes.
By the way, that first word you say, "be kind," when I'm in somewhere and your name come up, I don't know, like at an event or something, and your name does come up, that one word that attached with your name is that you are someone who is kind and gentle, and like have a big heart. So I think it's just really spot on that you're.
That's what comes out, right? At the end
It
of the day.
does.
That's
No,
really
but it does.
what comes out to people.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yeah.
DJing is one thing, but who are you as a person?
Yeah, I agree.
That's very important.
Okay, YOC, I know your wife is here, so let's close with a few rapid questions.
Go ahead.
And then let's call it a day. All right. So let's keep it like boom, boom, boom. Okay, ready?
I'm listening.
Favorite city to play a set?
Montreal.
Most underrated track you love to drop in a room or a club?
That's hard to say because it depends. What kind of track, when, what era, what
I love
decade.
it.
Like,
He's so specific in detail. I love that.
I
Okay.
mean, it depends on my crowds. I can't just like if I have 25-year-olds and 18-year-olds, and it depends, right?
Guys, that's why he's so good at what he does. Okay, let's move on. Dream gig that still hasn't happened.
Uh, Being a tour DJ like okay, I've done stuff with Backstreet Boys, but eventually I want to be able for any artist. I want to be able to be a tour DJ,
Or DJ.
like for like arenas and everything else. Like what I've done with Sugar Sammy, but I want to do it for an artist now. That's then the next level.
Push-ups or pull-ups?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Squats or deadlift? Let's see where you're at.
Squats.
Squats. USB, DJing with a USB stick or a computer?
Computer.
Tacos or poke?
Poke.
Montreal or Los Angeles?
Mm.
I know you like LA.
I love LA.
I
I love
know.
LA because I get to hike the beach.
It's a
No,
lifestyle.
I guess in Montreal is great in the summertime. Like I'm not a fan of the winter. That's why I transition to LA in winter sometimes when I can. It's hard. Both of them are different and both have their own charm.
Okay, your favorite app?
My favorite Instagram.
Is it?
Because you know what?
Why?
Funny enough, I get a lot of my music on Instagram too.
Really?
Yeah, because I get to listen to what other DJs are playing. So I just
Mm.
Shazam every time. I'm like, oh, cool. What's this track? Let me Shazam it right away. So Instagram helps me a lot with that because I get to see like right now what's happening, even though I'm not there.
And then I feel like Shazam is probably not number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, right. Current food obsession?
Current food obsession. I don't have any.
Okay. Mornings or evenings?
Evenings.
Sauna or ice bath?
Oh, that's hard. They're both so good. I'll take ice bath.
Okay, last one. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Smoothie or smoothie bowls?
Smoothie. Unless you're telling me acai bowls.
Smoothie or acai bowls?
Acai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A night out with your friends or a homemade dinner?
Homemade dinner. Yeah, my wife's right here. Will you tell me to get in trouble?
She's crushing it in the kitchen. We all know that. That's it, my brother. That was a rapid question. You skipped a few, but it's fine. It's sometimes it's hard to choose, and I totally get that. Guys, before we leave, guys, first of all, this was an amazing conversation with my brother Yossi. It was great. My pleasure, man. It was great to also just catch up and
Yeah.
get and let's do it in person this summer while I'm here and while you're
Absolutely.
here. And can you just let us know where we can find you, your music, your social media, if people want to follow your journey?
Well, my social media is at DJ YOC. I have music on Spotify. I'm starting my YouTube channel again.
Nice.
Start playing more mixes.
Awesome.
I'm starting that again a little bit more. Like I just uploaded like a few mixes already. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more regularly. That's more housey stuff. Like right now, that's more my vibe right now. So I'm like more housey stuff, tech house type of thing. So on my YouTube channel, also at DJ YOC, well DJ YOC -C. I have a Spotify account for like playlists also. That's also DJ YOC. That's it. Really
beautiful. We'll
Yeah.
add all of these here on the clip. And yeah, man, thank you so much for showing up, guys. It was a great
Thank you so much.
conversation, and I will see you on the next episode of the International
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Souls.
Thank you, guys.
If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to follow the show and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps us to grow and keep the conversation going. Thanks for listening.